Ever gotten so lost in your own make-believe world that you could recite the family tree of every fictional character and even knew the price of a virtual loaf of bread? Yep, been there, done that, and boy did it land me in hot water. Again. It wasn't the quirky laws or magical science that got me in trouble, it was the sheer time I poured into my fantasy city realm that got the grown-ups so riled up. So I decided to teach myself Norwegian and put my new skill to the test by zoning out in class, or even more hilariously, drawing up bus schedules in the library during lunch breaks. The librarian had seen enough of my solitary antisocial darkness and would say,
"Go get your diary. This needs a note home to your parents."
then would write in it,
"We need to chat about your son's antisocial streak."
well, it didn't exactly say that, as you can see, or my homeroom teacher's classic,
Enough with the doodles. Have a word with him.
that's not verbatim either. Yes, I even had a few in-house counselling sessions over my imaginary world and strategies put to me about how to make friends, but alas, most boomers just flipped through my detailed guide and never said much. Probably because I wouldn't shut up about my fictional city, saying things like,
Do you want to know why penguins are protected by law? Or how about why the midnight buses never run on time?
could I have kept my world-building obsession at home? No way. It consumed my every waking thought, and then the universe threw me a curveball. Mandatory quarantine hit. Yes, I could go straight from my bed to my desk to draw and create. Here we are. Enter Bouvet Island, a mind-boggling oil utopia brimming with life. So I created an 80-page citizen's handbook, complete with survival tips, local customs and community events. Bouvet Island is nestled in the Southern Ocean. This Norwegian-owned gem became a bustling hub in an alternate reality thanks to some offshore oil drilling action. Picture a remote winter wonderland city where only island employees and their families could come to live. Oh, and the elderly weren't permitted. Let's jump into my 80-page user guide and let me show you around. Let me show you the outrageous prices, limited goods, absurd rituals and laws, and the history of the island. And at the end of the book, I also built the island in a video game, and then I'll visually show you around. So, this is what happens when undiagnosed autism meets world building. This is the first page here that all the citizens would receive coming to the island there. You've got my map of Norway there and the settlement or the new island of Bouvet Island. And over here you've got all the population of how many humans are there, how many vacancies, what are the main jobs, how many adults, how many children. 379 children and 990 adults on there, and one minister to parliament. Yes, they get their own seat in parliament. And then you've got the nationalities, that it's almost mostly Scandi. You've got a few South Africans there though, and 3 Chinese. And these are all the jobs on the island and how many positions there are. There's 1 bankier, 1 bank person, 1 priest, 2 IT people, 1 librarian, you got policemen, firemen, electricians, and then this is the history. It was first discovered in the 1700s but given to Norway in 1913, and then that they found oil on a made-up place called Shona Ridge there. There's Oslo University that opened up there in the year 2000, and I've got a little guide here of all the history there. Then we've got all the plane routes here that every Sunday the plane comes in from Cape Town to Bouvet Island, and then every Wednesday goes back. So there's only a few flights, and for some reason I thought it'd be a good idea to have flights to Christian da Cunha, which is like another little island, and then flights out to the oil fields there. Then on this side here, we've got the boats that you can get instead, which go to Cape Town as well, or you can get one all the way to Bergen, which goes once a month and takes probably a long time, but it has 86 bunk cabins on there. And then I went through and did all the vehicles that are allowed on the island and what types of their sedans or a police car. Oh, I love doing timetables. Here is the bus timetable here and my little crap drawing of an extended bus. I'm surprised they have an articulated bus on this island. And then there are some times that the bus only comes during the summer. and it goes into the university, round the hospital, back through Little Oslo, to the church, to the school, and then comes back around. So first bus leaves at 5 a.m. in the morning if you need to get to work early. Then here are all the prices for the internet, because it's not free and it's expensive. Here are some of the jobs that are currently available. You can be a climate researcher at Oslo University. They're looking for some more nannies and a librarian. Or you could become a cook. Plenty of jobs if you want to sign up, with all the wages, how much tax you'll actually have to pay, and what contract you can get. 3 years, 2 years, 5 years? Would you live on this island for 5 years? Then I went through and made all of the apartments, what designs that you could possibly get, whether it's a 3-room, a 2-room, the layouts of them, kind of like what you'd get if you go to a mining camp. There's number 6 saying it's the bed there. So I put a lot of detail into this, and then it continues on to show you that this is what the apartment standard formation looks like. And one of the things that I decided to do was, because it's out in the snow with lots of blizzards, that everything would be connected. All the apartments would be connected. All the buildings would be connected by gangways. And they made sure that everything was off the ground, kind of like some permafrost thing that they weren't allowed to build into the ground, and that environmental laws on the island said that everything had to be taken away after the 99-year lease. Then I did the average days, average weathers that you can get, and the temperatures. I went through and did all the public holidays that are on the island, the school terms that the kids are in school, all the events that are going on through September, including a big, huge festival that we'll get to later. That's a bit concerning, this festival. I may have needed to see a psychiatrist due to this one. And then we have what's going on in August with children's first day back at school, the football comp starting, the town markets, and we've got the boat coming. And here's that festival I was talking to you about, which is called the Fruktbarhets Fest, which is kind of like Swedish's Midsummer, where all the children will stay overnight at school with their teachers, away from their parents, and their parents will be lucky enough to get drunk, climb the mountain, and throw all their clothes into the fire and celebrate and do all sorts of things while their children were away. Now, because of strict customs on the island, there are only certain things that you could bring in. Otherwise, you'd have to buy everything just to keep the pollution and all the items on the island limited. Here is what children could bring in. Here's what adults could bring in, like only 1 t-shirt, 1 bra. Eek! If you loved fashion, this isn't the place for you. Then I made a welcome pack that every house would get, including womanly items there, items for the adults. So this is everything that you would get to come in. And I also did little warnings here about make sure that you're at home and don't get caught in blizzards. There's the eating hall that everyone can go eating if they choose, and the times and what's often on, like chicken or fish. And here is sort of like the hangout or the pub, the Stua, where you can drink beer and wine and get drunk and just have a good time. Now, because all of the apartments are basically on stilts, there's the shower section with the times that you can get haircuts there, all the shower layouts. Over here is the library opening times and how you can get books. Over here is all the sport you can do, football, skateboarding, going to the pool if you want to, and see how everything is up on stilts. So you've got the gym and the sauna and everything there. And then if you want to go surfing in the cold Southern Ocean, I wrote rules for that too. And a little advertisement here about myth. The number one reason that you die on this island is not the cold, it is drowning, getting drunk and heading into the ocean because you think you're invincible. And then I made a shop, the little Oslo boutique. And here are all the items that you can buy, from the clothing and all of the prices in Norwegian krone and adjusted for massive inflation because you're on an island. And here are some of the designs of the special items that you can get, including an Antarctica DVD. Then we move on to the school. Here is the school layout here with all the building numbers and for all the grades. Here is a class timetable, and here's sort of like a profile of meet this new student and everyone, welcoming all the new people that have arrived on the island to go to school. I kind of made it a bit like a long boarding day school where you start at 7:20 with breakfast and you get dropped home around 7 p.m. at night on the bus to allow parents to work extra longer. There's also a section here on school sport and on children's health, how they're taken care of with a place that has lots of darkness and lots of depression to keep them all safe. And if you think that wasn't enough, then I went through and looked at all of the TV shows that are coming for this quarter and what they're all about. And yes, of course, I then went and made the TV guide. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the shows that are on, including the news. Oh, look, there's a live football game between Norway and Germany. The number of casting on a dice of what is rated, 5 out of 6. And I just didn't do this for 1 week. This goes on for multiple weeks of TV viewing of shows that you can watch. Here's the local police officer. And here are all the laws and the rules that are unique to the island that you have to obey, including the fact that plastics and sort of polyester are kind of banned. And here's like the law. If you're under 15, you get away with basically anything. Just off to psychology you go. Here's all the rules for the animals and how you've got to look after the environment and keep it all nice and clean. Here is the explanation about the polar vortex, that don't be caught outside or you could die. And I put special signs and warnings around the island that tell you get inside as soon as you can, because you're going to get blasted by an immense solar vortex if you don't. And then including island etiquette. Here are all the costs to the island, that your house rent is free, electricity is free, all the things in the minibar that you've got to pay for, phone call prices, showers are free, taxis are 24 kilometers per hour. Ambulances are free for children, but not for adults. It's just all the price list, everything you need to know. Our school is free. And over here is all about visas and staying in the one hotel that's on the island if you want to. This is a price list here for all the kids and teenagers clothing. And it all gets shipped in kind of like Amazon, but not Amazon, because Amazon is banned in Norway from Zara and H&M, and all of the prices just really jacked up. If you're Norwegian, you'll know that these prices are a rip-off, including Rip Curl items and Ralph Lauren. Further explanations on how you do your shopping and how you order it and how long it takes and how you can get books. Then I went and did it for all the adults with the men and with the females over here, but with a few more different brands like North Face and G-Sport and Vilmark and Lindex. And of course, a page from the travel agency. Flying Air Norwegian is going to set you back that much to Oslo via Bovid Island. And then over here's all the beauty services that you can get on the island and the prices. Yes, you can even get Apple products on this island. And here we are, is that how you say it? In a satellite phone. And I had fun drawing all these. So this is all the electronic items that you can get on the island. Over here is all the sports, football, basketball, swimming, volleyball, all the products and items you can get there. Scooters, get specially made jerseys. I must be big on sport. Here's all the toys and musical instruments that you can get. So basically everything just had to be flown in and sent into the island. So you had to pre-order it from this list like it was back like 50 years ago, where you're ordering out of some sort of antique catalog here. You can even get art sent in. And yes, I went and drew some crap little painting here by Dahl of Geiranger Fjord. And these are all the things you can get for homewares, for your bedroom, for your toilet, for your living room, makeup, all the prices. I just went nuts. Isn't this just insane? More sport. Here are all the sporting rounds for the adults, and over here's for the elite series for the children. Here's how you can get Norwegian lessons on the island if you're not Scandinavian and you're, say, from South Africa or Australia and you need the language, because it's kind of compulsory on the island. Here's how you can get music lessons on the island from Deb Nansen here, who does group lessons. And because the island is extremely unsafe due to wildlife and due to massive storms, if you adults want to go out and party, you need to organize a nanny. And here's a whole page on how you can organize a dagmamma. Yes, that's the word for nanny in Norwegian, and all of their prices. Here are all the rules on work and the IDs that you have to carry around, and all of the jobs and the times that you must work for, and food and drink. Here's all the information that you need on the banks and the church and the chemist and the police. And look at that, there have been no murders on the island in the last 10 years, although 2 house thefts. So not good. Maybe they were stealing that artwork. It does cost a lot. And then you can meet the doctor on the island, Dr. Tina Martin. I even did an explanation of all the signs that are on the island. Beware, animals. Or this sign that's often around saying, make sure you stay inside. Or this one here, it is now safe to go outside because the blizzard has gone. Or this one here is talking about the entrances and exits. And take care of your children and all of the speed limit and no alcohol. Then signs that you will find around the water and around the beach there. And also about the internet. I then went and drew little maps of each place, and this here is the main section. You know when you go to the cinema and you got to select your own seat? Well, you've even got to do it here, because here's information on the cinemas, or the one cinema on the island, shall I say, and all of the movies that are currently showing, including Detective Pikachu and Creed 2, A Star is Born. God, the movies are kind of old. A Quiet Place, that was a good movie. Oh, and even some Norwegian movies here that are specially showing. You can't have an island and a colonization without an Elon Musk endeavor, so Tesla has found their way to the island to launch SpaceX. No user guide is enough without having 2 timetables, or maybe it's just the fact I love doing timetables more than probably I like doing mapping. So I made another timetable in here because why not? Well, actually because it says in here that this one's coming into effect soon, and here it is. Just love doing timetables. And then this is the other map of the main island, including Little Carl Johansson's Gata, which is the main street. And as you can see, everything is connected with walkways between the buildings, so that way no one is caught out in a snowstorm. And at the end of the video, we'll actually go into a video game called City Skylines, and I'll show you around some of this stuff that I actually make. There's the shop and the bookkeeper. There's the showers, there's the eating hall, and you can see I did all the gantries and walkways and the distances that you have in them and all the apartments, that everything just connected to one another. Then I did a map of the library here and the eating hall, which for some reason the eating hall happens to have a water slide in it. Cool, hey? This page here is probably one of the most concerning. I actually wrote out the entire phone directory for every possible apartment on the island. So this apartment here is number 206 on Edmundson, unit number 25, and in it lives Luca and Åsa Anderson with their children Sarah and Zoe, and see 207 is available. And I did this for pages and pages. What do you make of this all? Now let's head into City Skylines and have a look around some of Velkommen til Bouvetøya.
And we're waking up here to Bouvet Island. Here is Little Bergen, and over here is Lilla Oslo. And over here is the Bouvet Conservation Area where all the penguins live. You've got the airport here, and this ship tanker has just run aground. But here's the industrial side where all the construction equipment is kept, all the tractors and all the cranes, gas, electricity, silo, water coming out of here. And as I said, all the buildings are connected. So people live in these apartments here, in this red one here. And over here is the eating hall. And as you can see that you can get from the apartments through this gangway here into this eating hall. And then you can even get across to the supermarket, to the shop, down to the clinic, all by following these little above ground tunnels. And here are more and more apartments in the Eastern European sort of style that we've got going on. And what sort of craft have we got coming in here? Got a cyberpunk sort of vehicle. And over here is the only hotel on the island. There's a soccer pitch out here, and you can get to the communal showers and laundry facilities by following all of these walkways. And there's the boiler for the showers, and here's one of the main showers. Look at all these people that are off skiing and walking to work or school. And if you live in one of the standalone houses, you have heating and water connected to your building via these pipes here. And every single house has one of these pipes that are connected to it, and none of them touch the ground. I did them all over the top of the roads. So, and there's another one there. We have the sports facility here, an outdoor park, and due to avalanches and falling rocks, as you can see them all falling, this section of road here has a tunnel. And this guy's skiing on the road. And now we'll come over to Bouvet Island BGS School. These are the sheds here that keep you safe from blizzards if you're caught out here or you're waiting for a bus, and telling you to slow down if you're skiing. And this is the road down to the school, and the school actually has a pulley system that takes you from the bottom of the school up to where you can catch the buses by dragging you from your skis. And here's the school maintenance area. And I like the front of the school with its periodic table out the front, and also some sort of indigenous sort of welcoming figures. And this might be the only school in the world that has a ski lift from the bottom of the school to the top. We have several classrooms here, outdoor playgrounds and sporting facilities, even a jumping trampoline, and even ice hockey is getting played here. So not a bad place to stay. Now we'll move over to the main part of town, which is the Little Oslo side, where we have a little bit of a military barracks here and surveillance. And we have the church all the way out here for your frozen sermons. But don't worry, you can park your skis out here. And then we have the massive boiler that is supplying all the heat for this main settlement here, and all the pipes are connected. And of course the bathroom and the shower section is right next to the boiler, and you can get the walkways through here to all of these apartments. All of these are apartments. Some of these are offices for the government and for Tesla X, which is now on the island. And we've got some entertainment here with the cinema and the little penguin icon here, and a hospital and shops and some curling and ice skating. And we've got the community center and the high school on this side and the eating hall on this side. And then we head down to the industrial side, past a few little remote settlements of people that are antisocial and don't want to live in town. And here is where food is kept in greenhouses, and where Tesla X has opened up to do business on the island. And as we come up over the top of the mountain where all the adults go on their special festival, we can head down to a national park here up through this trail, down to the penguin sanctuary. You've got to be careful, imagine coming down here, that's going to be a hard climb. And down to the sauna hot springs, and here's where all the penguins are. Oh, we can see them in the distance, let's go find them. And that's right, you've got to protect the penguins on this island at all costs. Oh, seals and penguins are doing their business here. So this is what I've made of Bouvet Island, and this is just how you can build your own world and just get lost in it all. This game is City Skylines.